Did you buy Ton phone? Or maybe you broke a screen tapping in the Notcoin app? It's okay if you missed it. Projects on Ton are just beginning to experience their heyday. In the mass perception, Ton is pretty much a Telegram cryptocurrency, which differs it from any other cryptocurrency, well, by its connection to Telegram. And if after the SEC decision Ton stopped being developed inside Telegram and became a separate project, why is it even interesting to us? You are on the Analog Vision channel, hit like button, subscribe, and let's get started to explore the Ton cryptocurrency in details. Back in 2018, the Durov brothers published a white paper on the L1 blockchain named Telegram Open Network, or in short, TON. At the time, they wanted to transfer the whole messenger infrastructure to the blockchain. Anonymity, security, convenience of payments, for the sake of it all. TON was described as a platform for dApps and an alternative to Visa and MasterCard, due to its scalability and availability to support millions of transactions per second. And back then, Gram was declared to be a token, not TON, and Gram was used for settlements and payments of all commissions. To finance Telegram, TON held an ICO the same year. By the way, they raised quite a lot back then, about 1.7 billion, accounting to 44% of emission. Well, and then the SEC, the scourge of the crypto world, sued them. The trial lasted for 6 months, and as a result, Telegram was told to stop all activity with TON and not issue any new tokens. Here, Pavel Durov also disowned himself, saying that he no longer had anything to do with TON. As a result, Telegram announced the discontinuing of work on the TON blockchain and released the source code to open source, calling on the community to take control. And in order to disown the blockchain altogether, the tokens were also given away for mining. Specifically for mining, they even developed a new mining approach called IPOW. It combined two consensus algorithms, proof of work and proof of stake. 200,000 TON were mined daily, and mining continued for 2 years, until the summer of 2022. By the way, 1 TON coin costs $6 today. So if you mined TON coin back then, I guess you are a millionaire. The fate of the project is certainly interesting, but what's much more interesting for us is what's inside TON. Firstly, the TON blockchain consists of 3 levels: master chain, work chain, and shard chains. The master chain contains the general information about the protocol, the number of validators, a set of active work chains, and hashes of the latest blocks. Work chains are separate blockchains based on the master chain. They can use different virtual machines, address and transaction formats, and have their own unique native tokens to pay for transaction fees, while still maintaining compatibility with the main network. Work chains in turn consist of shard chains, where each shard chain contains data only about a small set of addresses. Shard chains of the same work chain cannot differ in terms of virtual machine, address, and transaction formats. Each shard chain is only responsible for the transactions of its own set of addresses. Each work chain is responsible for its shard chains, and the master chain is responsible for all the work chains. Shard chains can exchange messages with each other, call smart contracts, and transfer tokens. Here I need to elaborate more about sharding. Sharding is the division of data into independent blocks. The simplest example of sharding is a file cabinet in a clinic. The administrator will quickly find your file just by the first letter of your surname and your year of birth. And that's your shard. What about blockchain? The blockchain was originally designed that all the data is stored in one piece, and the validity of each next block is based on the validity of all the previous blocks. The absence of at least one block makes all the chain not comply with the rules of the network. Introducing sharding in such a system is a non-trivial task, and it contradicts the original logic of the blockchain. As a result, while traditional blockchains solve the problem of scaling by introducing L2 add-ons, TON can scale without them. That is, when it is necessary to improve the speed of transactions, functionality, and convenience of Ethereum, a wild polygon appears. But the TON blockchain can expand without the need to build an extra mini blockchain on top of it. But this is not the only reason why TON stands apart from the others. TON is the first blockchain I know of where you can actually rewrite the past. As in the case of sharding, it literally contradicts the original logic of the blockchain. Anyone is able to look in the past, but not change it. In Ton, you can change past blocks. Imagine that you were sent tons to your wallet, you sent the person some merch, and then the person just reverted their transaction. And even if you have managed to spend the received money further, then your spending of the received money will be also cancelled. It sounds scary, but it is argued that in order to cancel the transaction, the consent of absolutely all validators of the network is required, which actually happens in such blockchains as Bitcoin and Ethereum as well. But there, a global rollback is called a hard fork, and it essentially leads to creation of a new blockchain in which some transaction seems not to have occurred. The most famous incident is the Ethereum fork, when the entire network rolled back the transaction of stealing $50 million in Ethereum. In Ton, we see pretty much the same mechanism, just done more carefully. Ton even has domain naming service, just like Ethereum has ENS. With it, you can come up with a unique name for your wallet address, which reduces the risk of mistakes while transferring money. Also, Ton decided to become a beta version of Dropbox and started Ton Storage. It is a distributed storage network that strives to be stable and reliable. Essentially, it's an analog of torrents, accessible from the blockchain. That is, any smart contract can access some data by knowing its ID. Although this approach has been known to be unstable since the days of IPFS, files disappear as soon as there is no computer with the file. The guys from Ton came up with a cool thing. You can create a special smart contract that will pay servers for storing your file. So they have the initiative to keep your file while the money drips in. That's not a 100% guarantee that your file will stay on the network, but it's definitely much better than IPFS. And I almost forgot, Telegram is actually a pretty confidential messenger. Therefore, I'm pretty sure that they will make the blockchain with confidentiality in mind. And there are also Ton sites and Ton proxies. Ton sites are sites that are transmitted not through the traditional HTTP, but through messenger protocols. For the internet provider's equipment, it will look like you're chatting with your friend, not like browsing the web. What is this for? It's made for providers not to be able to block your traffic unless they block Telegram completely. And as far as we know, blocking Telegram hasn't worked even once in any country in the world. And we know many attempts. By distributing your site through Ton sites, you will know for sure that anyone in the world will be able to open it. And Ton Proxy is pretty much a special program that will allow you to browse Ton sites through a traditional browser, as if they were regular sites. Ton Proxy is a little complicated to set up, but if you are an advanced computer user, the convenience will be worth it. And to add even more, there are Ton Payments, a built-in payment processing gateway for instant transfers and Ton services, a platform for third-party applications. And if you haven't yet run to launch your Ton project or transfer your business to Web3 via Telegram, then perhaps you should at least think about it. At the start of project development, the question of choosing a blockchain arises. There are generally a great variety of them, and you can choose the best one for a specific task. For example, lately, mostly Polygon, Arbitrum, and Solana were chosen. They have lower commissions, and the speed is faster than of the old Ethereum, where nothing much is built right now. There are also many arguments in favor of Ton. Here you have a community, grandiose goals, and you can move to the masses through Telegram. And they will also give you money. Ton Foundation is quite loyal to issuing grants. Let's take a point-by-point look at why you should start on Ton. Firstly, there is a large user base that comes from Telegram. Ton and Telegram entered into an official partnership in September 2023. The messenger has more than 800 million monthly active users, and most of them already have access to the Ton Space non-custodial wallet. This significantly expands the user base. Secondly, in the Telegram Mini Apps catalog, there are already more than 40 blockchain applications built on Ton. Telegram Mini Apps are basically apps, but they run in Telegram. They look the same as a traditional app or a web application, but in a messenger wrapper, and they work through Telegram bots. So basically, Telegram mini apps are apps inside Telegram bots. For example, the DEX StoneFi works through a bot. Ton themselves are planning to build a super app to collect all the blockchain mini apps in one place. Telegram, with its channels about crypto, and there are a great many of them, is ideal for such things. Therefore, startups on Ton can count on integration into Telegram mini apps and subsequently into the Ton super app. This means access to hundreds of millions of potential users. Not every blockchain can boast this. Thirdly, the pump of tokens on Ton. Ton itself is growing, especially against the backdrop of the latest news. And tokens on Ton are growing along with it. Imagine what will happen when Notcoin launches. And Ton itself is not even traded on Binance yet. So if you're planning to launch your own coin, then Ton blockchain is a great option. And finally, access to the venture capital. The Ton Foundation itself doesn't engage into venture investments, but it helps to establish contact with funds and provides valuable recommendations. There is also an investment fund called Toncoin Fund. But to be honest, so far they made only 2 investments: Megaton Finance and the sports and gaming platform Fanzi. More than 100 projects and 450 individual developers have already received grants totaling $1.2 million. It looks extremely seductive. Now I'll explain everything step by step on how to apply for a grant if you want to build a Ton project. The Ton Foundation issues grants through the Toncoin Fund with a $250 million capital and the Ton Accelerator. If you are planning integration with Telegram web apps, you can count on up to $10,000 if you even have no product, and up to $50,000 if you have a product on another blockchain with users and you want to migrate it to Ton. But then the next question is, what projects are in demand on Ton? The answer is simple. Everything. Ton has just started and it needs all kinds of apps. But let's be more specific. The first ones required are SocialFi, projects for working with the community, optimizing daily tasks, etc. For example, this could be a loyalty program or an app where users receive tokens for publishing content. The next ones required are GameFi projects. These can be either mini games inside Telegram or even full-fledged games. The mini app must have social mechanics, for example, challenges, leaderboards, and all that. And actually, these features are also desirable for other types of games. And well, the third tier is everything except SocialFi and GameFi. Infrastructure, DeFi, solutions for interaction with mini apps and dApps, or other ideas. The main requirement to your Ton project is that it's useful, original, and implementable. And to be eligible for the maximum grant, you should show 5,000 daily users and 20,000 monthly users. I guess it means that you need to show 5,000 daily users just once a month. And you also need to have good retention rates. For example, the number of active users in 7 days should be at least 10% of the number of downloads in the same period, which actually, if you do everything wisely, is absolutely feasible. Also, if you are applying for a Ton grant and actually want to receive it, here is the must-have checklist. First, you haven't yet done a successful token sale. This is very important. Second, you have a website, a page on GitHub, Twitter, X, and channel in Telegram. Having a pitch deck is also desirable, but not required. Third, you are not a casino. Otherwise, they definitely will not give you money. Fourth, you mustn't plan to spend the grant on marketing. The fifth and the last one, you are ready to actually work, because the money is transferred in stages and it's impossible to receive the funds in advance. And for example, if the completion of tasks is delayed for more than a month after the deadline, or even the tasks are not completed satisfactorily, the grant will be cancelled. While we are talking about money, let's look at the startups that received it last year. An NFT Tamagotchi style minigame received $23,000. A DEX aggregator received $20,000. Other projects that received the grants are Smart Contract Monitoring Platform, a ticket issuance protocol, AI chatbot for developers, and many others. There is a complete list on the grants page. And it's especially worth noting the following projects. Among games, it's definitely Notcoin. Here are some projects definitely worth noting. This is a simple clicker in a Telegram bot, which eventually made 35 million people click daily, and now their token is present on Binance and Bybit. And at a recent conference in Dubai, Pavel Durov announced their partnership between Notcoin and Telegram. The next ones are Ton Stakers and Bemo, which provide liquidity staking. Through a Telegram bot, you can stake your coins conveniently and quickly at an interest rate higher than on Binance. Also, there are DEXs like StonFi, DDust, and Megaton Finance, and they seem more convenient than DEXs outside the Telegram ecosystem. There is no need to connect different wallets, check passwords, and otherwise care about its security. Everything is much more convenient when you do it inside Telegram. Next, NFT marketplace GetGems. They sell NFTs on Ton blockchain. But for now, there are only memes and small collections. Also, Ton can boast a launchpad like TonStarter. This platform helps launch various projects on the Ton blockchain and provides the opportunity to Telegram users to support their beloved projects without leaving the messenger. And the last but not the least, Ton Phone, or officially Universal Basic Smartphone from Oyster Labs. The phone itself as a device is quite average. It's just an ordinary budget smartphone. Its main feature is that it works entirely on Ton blockchain, has its own app store like Google Play Market, but for Web3. And with it, you can receive cashback from different partners. But the fate of this project is not clear yet, because pre-orders have only recently ended. But as a phenomenon, it's very interesting. Of course, everything sounds just like in a fairy tale. But obviously there are no perfect blockchains. Somewhere the gas is expensive, somewhere the competition is high, somewhere liquidity is low. So in case of Ton, you also have to be ready to overcome a number of difficulties. Ton is not compatible with Ethereum virtual machine, and it uses specially created smart contract languages, FunC and Tact, which are more complex than Solidity. Therefore, existing apps cannot be simply transferred from Ethereum to Ton like you would do with Polygon. You will have to completely rewrite your source code. And since smart contracts for Ton are written in FunC and Tact languages, you will not be able to leverage Solidity programmers. You will most likely have to look for a software developer that can work with FunC and Tact through word of mouth, make inquiries in various Telegram channels, or even headhunt software engineers from other projects. So if you manage to get at least one, hold them tight. If Solidity developers were hard to find, just imagine how hard it is to find FunC and Tact developers. And there are yet almost no companies that would work with development on Ton. And that we talk only about individual contributors. The software development companies that would undertake your Ton project are pretty much non-existent today. But here we are at Octa-Core, ready to develop your Ton project. If interested, just visit our website and schedule a call with me personally via Calendly. Another thing that you have to keep in mind is sharding. You'll have to figure out its internal mechanics and how your application can work with it. By the way, if you want to learn more about sharding, just let me know in the comment section. Just like on Solana, each NFT on Ton has its own smart contract. This means that every collection on Ton has as many smart contracts as there are NFTs in it, plus one for the main smart contract. So when you create 10,000 Bored Apes, be ready to deploy 10,001 smart contracts. And with all that huge number of potential users, Ton has actually quite low liquidity. Ton currently ranks just 28th among all blockchains in terms of total value locked. For example, to enter the top 10, Ton must overtake Avalanche, which has almost $1 billion locked in the system. So projects always have to keep in mind that low liquidity and low trading volumes lead to high volatility. This means that if your token gets listed on an exchange, it can be very easily manipulated, and that's extremely dangerous for your project. From a technical point of view, Ton is a truly unique blockchain, and it could become a potential basis for mass adoption of blockchain. And there are clearly prospects in development on Ton. The main killer feature is obviously integration with Telegram. Apart from Ton, There is no blockchain where dApps work inside a Web2 application. But for now, let's be honest, this very cool ecosystem just lacks globality. And well, there are just not enough software developers to expand the system quickly enough. The lack of EVM support and the need to learn new languages to create smart contracts just narrows the ecosystem. And although the example of Solana shows that those issues are not critical, well, I would say Solana just completely lacks documentation from my experience. Ton cannot yet compensate well for the technical difficulties for entering the ecosystem. The only project in the ecosystem that has become really global is Notcoin, and even it hasn't yet been listed anywhere. So maybe your project will be the next breakthrough on Ton. Write in the comment section what ideas you would have to implement on Ton. This was the Analog Vision channel. If you like what we do, hit like, subscribe buttons, and order your software development at Octacore. Thanks again for watching and take care!